Hello and welcome everyone. Hopefully you are all having a good Monday. We are just getting started here. Just turned on our background music for while we're programming. And I'm going to give a bit of an intro. So welcome to Dev Chatter. My name is Brendan, and together we are writing a C# chatbot. Now, I am the primary one coding, but we do get a lot of assistance from our Twitch chat, so the whole community that chimes in. So welcome, everyone. Hopefully you're all... Hey, welcome, R. Schmertz. Thank you for the follow. Hopefully you enjoy the stream. And we are going to get started. So, quick couple of things. All the code that we work on, whoops, the bot's not actually running. All of the code that we work on stream is out on GitHub, and you are able to contribute to it. And I was writing a little bit of code in the program right now, so it's going to be a second before I have the bot running and can give you that GitHub link. But it's at github.com/devchatter, in case you couldn't guess. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right in and get us writing some of this code. So I want to do a little bit of a review because I made a couple of changes based on what we were working on at the end of the stream on Saturday. I did end a little bit after our normal time. We went a little over 2 hours. However, when I did have to cut short, I did cut short. I can absolutely explain line 22. So this is a feature that was added into, I believe, C# 6 is the one that added expression-bodied members. This is an expression-bodied method, and C# 7 actually improved upon expression-bodied properties. But essentially all this is doing is this is equivalent to writing this code. It's equivalent to that. So you'll notice it's a method, and it has that return there. And essentially all an expression-bodied member does is it says that you're going to use a single expression as the entire body of your method instead of actually declaring it. So what that means is this on the right-hand side of that arrow has to be an expression in C# that can evaluate as a Boolean. So in this case, that's going to be the return value is a Boolean. We use the same syntax that we do for a lambda expression, so that's what the little fat arrow is there. So that's you're probably used to those in the filter expressions in LINQ. So yep, this code and that code, they're exactly the same. And if I were to do this as a property instead of a method, this is literally the only change. Welcome anybody that was lurking around in C# Fritz's stream. We just got our auto host from C# Fritz. So you'll notice that the change I made here is just the removal of the parentheses, and the removal of the parentheses there is all that we have to do in order to make that a getter-only property instead of a method. But I'm going to put it back to a method because that's how we defined our interface. Technically, I can do the same thing with a multi-line, but it seems silly to do a multi-line. You just usually do these when you have a simple little check that's a little one-liner. So I was essentially encapsulating that into a little method. So anyway, the thing that I wanted to talk about. I made a couple of changes. So where we ended last time, we were intending to connect this our start game method. We wanted to connect that to our interval triggers because we have background code and we built a structure that manages background actions that we want to periodically run. And for part of that, we said, oh, let's add an action to that so that when the rock, paper, scissors game starts, and this is a channel game that we can play that once I fix our compiler error that I left in here, because I was literally changing this code 20 minutes ago, once we fix that error, we'll go ahead and run this, and we'll see the game actually taking place in chat. We'll be able to play a game of rock, paper, scissors against the bot. And what we're going to do is when the game starts, we're going to start a background process that's going to run, and we're checking every second to see if we have any background processes that need to do any work. And as soon as it comes time for our game to end, it should trigger a game end for us. The other thing that I want to do is I want to put in alerts there that tell you how much time you have left before the game starts. For now, we're going to start simply and just let you know in advance that you have this number of seconds to join, and then when that time runs out, we're going to trigger the end of the rock, paper, scissors game. The bot's going to make its choice for whether it wants rock, paper, or scissors, and whoever beats the bot is going to earn extra currency. So I am going to quickly fix that error, because I just changed this, so we need to use our automated system, which is right down here, and it uses a currency update, which is there. So we're going to shift this up to here, and we're going to pass that in there. So for now, we just have this in place. We have a card in our backlog to actually implement a better solution for dependency injection, but right now that actually works pretty well. We just need to tweak every once in a while because order matters for us, because instead of building our dependencies based on need, we're doing them in line sequentially, so we will shift that around. Our Twitch chat client now needs to have the API as well, which means that the API needs to move above that. So this is another piece of code I was working on that I haven't finished, that we will finish up together. And I will show you why I needed to put that in there. There is actually an undocumented part of the Twitch API that we're going to access using the Twitch API library from the TwitchLib project that we are referencing. It's an open source project, TwitchLib is, and interestingly, the call we have to make is under a namespace in there. Actually, it's not under a namespace, it's under a class that is called undocumented, because there's an there are undocumented parts of the Twitch API. So they put them in there, which I find hilarious. Hope you guys do too. There are always undocumented features in various APIs and libraries. Okay, so the bot has entered the stream, and here's what we're going to do. I want to go ahead and give this a nice test. 1 second, guys. Alright. So I am going to say rock, paper, scissors. And so when I type that in, what it is doing, Lumen, join the rock, paper, scissors, man. What it should have done is given us 120 seconds before it starts the game. So we're going to see whether this runs or whether this crashes. No, RPS. Come on, man. Don't typo it. There you go. Okay. So now we have a couple of people that are in the rock, paper, scissors game. And when the time runs out, the bot is going to automatically trigger the end game, where the bot attempts to... it's actually going to pick randomly. It's fair. And what it's going to do is try and beat us. So after the 120 seconds passes, it is going to execute this method, which is our play match method. And we'll see what it does. Hopefully, it does what we expect and runs the game. But for that, we gotta wait a little bit. Maybe I should have set it to 60 seconds. Okay, so while we're waiting for that, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of other things. So while I was looking at the automated system, I noticed a problem that I want to take care of while we're in here. So if we go to the rock, paper, scissors update, which is an I-interval action. So this interface essentially is what the automated system is using. It takes in one of these, and it just needs a way to say, is it time to run? And if it is, go ahead and run my code. So the change that I wanted to make actually centers around the method. Oh, okay, so let's see. It gave him paper. Oh, and I also had paper. It chose scissors, so it killed both of us. Okay, well, the nice part is the bot won. What we need to find out now is we want to make sure that it doesn't attempt to run again. So it should have removed that action, and we shouldn't have, in 120 seconds, another choice from the bot. So we can keep writing our code and just wait to see what it does. Yeah, sorry, man. We didn't win. Okay, so here's the problem. Right now, the code is running this calculation every time we call it. And it doesn't make sense why we didn't just do this calculation in the beginning. Because we could have just said time of next run just gets set when the previous one happens. So good luck with that, Lumen. Hopefully it goes well. So what we need to do is we set the previous runtime, but every time we set the previous runtime, we actually want to set the time of the next run as well. So I am going to make a property for this instead. And we're going to make it a date-time property, and we're going to call it time of previous run. And instead of just being an auto property, I'm going to make it a property with a backing field. Assuming that it doesn't come to a crawl right there. Okay. So, time of previous run, and what we're going to do is we are going to make it so that when you call this... Actually, does anybody need to call this? Time of previous run is only used for that. Okay. So, there's not really a getter. We're just going to have an assignment on it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a time of next run property that's going to get set when we assign this one. So actually, we don't even need to do that. We just need to assign the time of the next run. We don't ever need to assign the current one. So we're just going to make this time of next run. So when you set this, this is always going to get set to a specific value. I'm going to make it a method. So instead of doing that, we're not even going to have time of the previous run. We are just going to have set the next run time. We're just going to make that a method. Set next run time. And actually, it's not a runtime as one word, it's two words. Technicalities. So what I'm going to do when we call that is set that property, or set that field, I should say. So we're going to say time of next run equals, and we're going to say datetime.now dot add seconds equal to the interval in seconds. So now, whatever time it is when you call that, we're now just checking it here. So what that means is we no longer do this. When you invoke, you just call that method. You just say, set the next runtime when you invoke it. And actually on this one, because we only run it once, I almost actually think that the time of next run just needs to be like datetime.max, because we're only supposed to run this one time. So if we set that equal to datetime.max, it should never run again, because the rock paper scissors update, we called it update, but it's really like the event that ends the game. So that's really what we should be doing with it. Okay, so when we come in, we set the next runtime. Which actually, since we do that, I think we can just assign, because of the way this one works, I think we can just assign it right now. We're just going to set it. We don't even need that method, because we only need to set it once. So we're going to say time of next run equals that. We're going to get rid of the interval. We no longer need it, because we're going to use it right off the property there. And then we're just going to check. We don't need this anymore. So we just check it right here, and then that's all we need to do. So that actually makes this way easier than what we were doing before. And the nice thing is it simplifies the amount of work that we're doing on each one of these calls. Okay. So now I want to... no, Igloo Coder, this is not VB, this is C#. Do you want to see VB? Or are you just... making a joke? Alright, so this is changing, I'm adding time interval for rock, paper, scissors endgame. So we are triggering our endgame now based on that interval. Yeah, don't worry, Greendolf, we're not going to do VB. Microsoft will tell you repeatedly that VB is not dead, and it is not. They are regularly updating it, and there are plenty of customers that use it. But I do feel sorry for any teams that are using it, even if they like it, because the majority of the community, especially around almost everything .NET, uses C#. So that means all of your demos and your Twitch streamers, you know, we're all using C#, not VB. There are a handful using VB, but you got to work a little bit harder to find those ones. Okay, so since we made that change, we realized that we wanted to simplify how we do that time comparison. So I want to check here. Yeah, see, look, I did it again. I'm adding when we do the check instead of just doing that at the beginning. So here's the couple of things I'm going to do. First off, I'm going to change that so it just does that replacement. The next thing I'm going to do is make it so that... So this one I am going to give it that private method that sets the new time. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to make this a method. Whoops. Extract method. Set next runtime. And then inside of set next runtime, I'm going to change this from being previous runtime to being the next runtime. So the way I'm going to do that is by setting that there. That's the only assignment of that value aside from this one. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to say do this comparison against that value instead of adding. We're no longer going to do this. So we're not going to do an assignment out there. We're going to assign that in the constructor by setting the next runtime. So we're just going to call set next runtime, which we can do because the interval in minutes was already set. So after we invoke, we set next runtime here. So now we just need to change the name of this variable from previous runtime to next runtime. And then that should be good. Does that make sense to everybody? A couple of other things I want to do to clean this up. Since we did that, we can make that an expression body. And now, interestingly, on this one, we can do the same thing. So see how that ends up working? I'm not a big fan of it here in the set, but I figured I'd show it anyway. I'm not going to do that one that way because I think this is clear. But when all you're doing is returning a value, I think that's a pretty clean way of writing it. And one other nice thing about it is I like doing that because it's a simple thing, it's easy to read, and it sort of gets people used to lambda expressions a little bit more, which for those of you that haven't been using lambda expressions in modern .NET, people get a little concerned sometimes when they're seeing us using like a function of int of t or something like that, or an action of integer, for example. And really, I don't want people to be afraid of that stuff, because there's a lot of value we can get out of encapsulating our lambda expressions, our actions, our functions into variables. And so it lets us essentially delay the execution of a method, delay determining how it's going to work. And so that's usually where those are valuable. And so because of that, I want people to get more used to seeing lambda expressions in their code. And so that's why I do use them in some of these simple cases like this. Exactly, Greendorf. Being able to do a lot of these things that we couldn't do before has made programming in C# much, much better. So extension methods especially. And actually, Greendorf, the same reason why I'm always pushing for the idea of auto-implementing interfaces is the same reason that extension methods are valuable. It's that I often have to use code that's not in my code base. And so an extension method lets me add a method to a class I don't control the source code for. And the same thing applies with an auto-implementing interface. So they both give us that power that we don't normally get. So it's very nice for that. Okay, so let's go ahead and make that change. Our bot looks like it's still running, and it didn't chime in with another rock, paper, scissors game, so I'm going to go ahead and start another one. Why don't you guys hop in the rock, paper, scissors game? Anybody that wants to type in chat, just do an exclamation point RPS and then choose rock, paper, or scissors. And you will be in the game as well. I chose rock because good old rock, nothing beats rock. I mean, except for paper, but no one plays paper. Okay. So, welcome, Honey Pop. Alright, so... Oh! Yeah, so, funny thing, if you don't spell it right, Greendorf, it does assign you randomly, and it just gave you rock. So, congratulations. Typos are penalized with a random selection, but you can always change your selection if you like. Yep. and we're not super careful about that just yet, because that's something we can clean up. We just wanted to get the bot running, which we did. So it does rock, paper, scissors, and it does it in a nice way. So I mentioned to you guys that we have a pretty simple way that we run these actions. So we have two methods, add action and remove action. And what we're doing every second is the bot is actually checking to see if there are any actions it needs to run. And the way it does that right now is it just looks at all the actions it's got and then just says, grab all the ones that are, scheduled to run right now. Welcome. Hopefully one of us wins. We have a rock, a paper, and a scissors, so someone is going to win. Guaranteed. Assuming the bot doesn't crash. We haven't tried running it twice yet, so this will be the first time that the bot has attempted this new technique for ending the rock, paper, scissors game. So that's basically all there is to it. So the next thing that we want to do, to make it a little bit nicer, is to give you a quick warning. Oh, it did choose paper. So congratulations, Greendorf, you won. And that actually did do something behind the scenes. I think I wired up the coins command. Yeah, it's rigged. It's rigged. Greendorf, type the coins command, and it should tell you how many tokens you've got. And if you guys want to see how that one works, I can show you that as well. So we did our coins command right here. It's pretty simple. All it does is it grabs your name. So it pulls you off the list, and then it checks to see if you specified a user. If you did, then it's going to assign that one instead. So, see, there you go. Yep. So Greendorf, you actually got like 50 extra coins for winning that game of rock, paper, scissors. And see, Honey Pop has been here long enough to have earned 10 tokens already, so that's pretty good. I could change that to just say coins instead of calling it tokens. Anyway, so that's how the coins command works. We did that last stream, which would have been Saturday, I believe. We wired that one up. And I did put a little comment on here. Our remove right now for our interval actions is relying on reference equality of those values. So that actually has to be the exact same action that we pull, which works out reasonably well in this case because we are still tracking it. So the thing I want to do next is, I called this update first off, which update's not a great name for it. I want to call it end. Hey, thank you for the follow, Honey Pop. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream. So we're going to call that end game, because we want that to end our game of rock, paper, scissors when it completes. So, yes, and the bot thanks you for following as well. And yes, that is all built in here, Honey Pop. That is now the only bot we're running. We don't have a Streamlabs bot running anymore. Give me 1 second, guys. And I'm back. Alright, so we changed this to be endgame. Now the reason I changed that is because I want to give you a little warning about 30 seconds before you need to join the game. It won't answer that. It's been programmed not to respond to that. Actually, we should put in something where it checks for Skynet and responds, which would be kind of funny. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is this. I want to make a new thing that's not an update. I want to make a rock, paper, scissors, well, that's not an endgame, that is an update. And the way we're going to do that is this. We're going to go over here. I am going to make a new interval action. Whoops. That was funny. Nope. Does not want to do it. Okay. We'll go here, and we'll do this. Create a derived type. Alright, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make this one. We're going to call this update. And actually, this might not be... Ooh, you know, I could really simplify this. Hey, thank you, Igloo Coder. Yes, I am also a big fan of the dark theme, Honey Pop. Igloo Coder, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime subscription. Make sure to enjoy your Dino Hype emote. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I want to just essentially make an interval triggered message out of this. So I want our interval triggered messages to just be interval triggered actions. So here's what I want to change. Let's jump in here and do this. So we have that automated action system, and we also have this automated messaging system, which is very similar. It's just slightly more complicated, so I don't actually like some aspects of it. Hey, Kid Fundamentals 345, welcome. Let's see. So we have our interval message that we create, which is just a message that we want to have run every once in a while. Now, I'm thinking that we can make this be the same type of thing that does our other part. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to create a derived type called an interval message action. Whoops. And we're going to make it public, and we are going to implement it in a pretty simple way. We are going to make a private date time, and we're going to call it next runtime. We're only kind of going to initialize it from the constructor. I wanted a constructor, but what we're actually going to take is interval in seconds. So this is the interval at which we're going to run this message. And actually, instead of calling this an interval message action, I'm going to call this a delayed message. And you'll see why in a second. This is a delayed message action. Because I only want this to run one time and then turn itself off, basically. So what we're going to do is at the end of invoke, we are going to set its next runtime equal to datetime.maxValue. So that should shut it off. It should not be able to, because we'll never reach that in real world time. So we're going to set this equal to datetime.now, and then add seconds equal to the interval seconds, which instead of calling it an interval, we're going to call it delay in seconds. Okay, Kid Fundamentals has a question. In terms of having a web page dashboard GUI for the user, how are you going about doing that? So my intention, Kid Fundamentals, is to set up an ASP.NET web application for that. I figure we can go that route even if we're running it locally. And the reason is that the dev browser, Kestrel, can just be run out of a console application, so we can just spin it up and run it. So if you want to run it locally, you'll be able to spin that up. It'll open up we can decide whether or not it's going to open a web browser or not as part of that action. It could be that it opens one behind the scenes and you have to go to it to configure it. Or alternately, what we could do is we could toss it on sorry, Honeypop. What I mean is an ASP.NET Core web app. I misspoke. But yes, you'll notice I was talking about Kestrel. So yes, it is going to be a .NET Core. And actually, let me show you how difficult it is to change from this over to a web project. Done. We're now an ASP.NET Core web project. Yes. You can run full framework. We're not intending to run full framework here. Not for any reason. So yeah, Greendorf, I do want to dig into Blazor. We're probably going to play with that a little bit on here as well. So if you do dig in, I would greatly appreciate it when you when you yell at me and tell me what stupid thing I end up doing as I start digging into Blazor, because it'll be an interesting one, to say the least. Okay, so we change this to a delay, and that's going to tell us our next runtime, because we're just going to set that once and be done with it. And for is it time to run, we're just going to implement this using another expression-bodied member, and just say datetime.now greater than next runtime. So once we're past our next runtime, it should be ready to run. Yes, Kid Fundamentals, it is that easy to switch from a console application over to a web application. Honeypop, I agree. I would love it if we could get .NET Core running as an actual Windows GUI application. There was a survey recently that you can find on my Twitter, because I did retweet it, that is from the Microsoft team that does Windows development, and it is basically asking us what we want out of that. Now, Microsoft will actually take our feedback on this, so if a lot of us start yelling at them that we'd really like to have some kind of .NET Core desktop development thing, they might be building that. I would be amazed if they're not already building if they're not already building some kind of a cross-platform GUI application framework. I would love it if we got what is basically like a lightweight WPF style thing that it wires up more like Razor pages, but with a XAML front end. And if we got that running for Windows, Linux, and Mac, that would be amazing. And I would be surprised if they haven't looked at that. So I'm hoping that they're doing it. We'll see. So my headset was bothering me about the fact that its battery's running low, so... Yeah. Is that actually confirmed? Because Xamarin Forms being the cross GUI might actually work. Because that's basically what we want, is to be able to just write code across and use .NET Core for it. It'd be very nice. And how's it going, Cheeky? Oh, good, Honey Pop. Yes, it is nice that people did get around to that survey. Kid Fundamentals tried Angular the other day, and yes. There are a lot of ways of writing JavaScript code, and some good stuff, to be honest. I'm going to, let you guys know roughly how old I am. My first programming language was actually JavaScript. In the, mid-90s, I learned JavaScript and HTML5, and I learned HTML, wow. So JavaScript and HTML back in the 90s, let me tell you, you could do terrible, awful things. The code was terrible. None of us knew what we were doing back then. So don't look at any code from the 90s written in JavaScript. It was bad. Let's see. So that is pretty darn simple. So yeah, what I would like is something like CEF Sharp, but more lightweight. Honey Pop, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Please explain, I would like to know. Okay, so I'm going to create a couple of delayed message actions as part of our rock, paper, scissors game. So when we get to this point, we're going to make some delayed message actions, which actually, before I do that, back in delayed message action, we actually have to do the messaging. And what do we usually do? We take in the chat as the second one? Okay. Okay. Whoops. Why is that the first option? That should not be the first option. Okay. So we pass that in, delay in seconds, and then the other item needs to be the message. And I will check chat in a second, guys. I'm sure you've said some insightful and awesome things. So that's our message, that's that. Okay. And it will turn itself off, basically. But I don't want it to be in the list anymore and having to get checked. So we're going to remove it from the list just to clean things up a little bit. And yes, Greendorf, I am going to add an exclamation point Twitter at some point. Let's see. Honeypop description. CF Sharp lets you embed Chromium in .NET apps. Oh, cool. So it's a .NET wrapper around Chromium embedded framework. Got it. 30% of the bindings are C++. CLI with the majority of the code here is C Sharp. It can be based on C Sharp or VB or any others. I assume it gets compiled down to intermediate language, so you should be able to use C Sharp or VB. And it has both WPF and WinForm web browser control implementations. That's actually really cool. So you could just insert it right in either of those apps. That is nice. That would be a good trick. So speaking of stuff that works in both WPF and WinForms, excuse me, one of the other projects that we worked on a little bit here on stream is a system tray only app. We wanted to build something where like you run it and it loads only into the system tray because we were going to access it all with keyboard shortcuts. And that application, interestingly enough, when we were deciding between WinForms and WPF, I was kind of like, well, if all we're doing is just doing some like a system tray, we don't really need WPF. pops up on screen and spins and then gives the user... Oh, does it actually pop up in OBS? Because what I was planning on doing is... so the reason why we want to do a web front-end Kid Fundamentals is we want to be able to pop stuff up on OBS so you guys can see it on screen when some things happen on the bot. So what we were planning on doing, which was actually a suggestion from Wheelspin, one of our regulars, was not exactly a suggestion, but was to do a wheel... Hilarious, wow, Wheelspin, doing a wheel spin. Yeah, we were going to have a wheel that spins on stream. Was the idea. So if we did one of those, build it into the bot, and then have that show up on screen based on, you know, people using commands for stuff. So that was one of the suggestions for something we could do on here. So anyway, jumping over to this, we want to create one of these, and we want to do this at 30 seconds. We're always going to have at least 30 seconds, right? So we're going to do this only 30 seconds left to join. Let's see. We're going to say type this. Yeah, we're going to say type that. So let me just copy this. So we're going to say only 30 seconds left to join. Type one of those. Type that, or that. And then out to the chat client. And then that should work. Okay, we're going to make this a field, and instead of delayed message, yeah, we're going to call this join game warning message. Okay, so once that's assigned, we need to get rid of all of our automated messages. So even though we have already gotten rid of it, I'm going to call this method. We're going to extract a method and call this cleanup after game. So at the end game, we're going to reset that, we're going to reset that, and we're going to get rid of our setup actions. So that's a little nicer. Alright, let's take a look at chat. You watched someone... Oh, yeah, I already read that. Yeah, see, I ignored chat for a little bit just because I want to make sure we can get some code written. Alright, so that's how we set up our interval actions. I'm going to stop the bot for a second, guys. And what we're going to do is run it again. This time, we're going to try our rock, paper, scissors. Whoop! Sorry, guys, that was my bad. You remember how I did the little test thing and I was like, here's how easy it is to switch to web. The problem is it creates that when I switch it to web, which is really annoying because when I switch it back, it doesn't get rid of it. So that's why we crashed there. It was trying to start IIS, which it can't do for this project. So for anyone that's wondering, that's what happened. So .NET Core, it does some great things, it does some funny things. So bot should be running. I am going to start up a game. So hop on in, guys. Let's see how we all do. So pick your poison, rock, paper, or scissors, remembering that since I chose rock, we can guarantee a winner if we get someone on paper and someone on scissors. And there we go. Yep, good choices, people, good choices. We got some scissors, we got some paper. And if you typo it or you don't choose, it will randomly assign you one. And we'll see how that all goes. And we're also watching to see if we get our 30-second warning. And hopefully we get a 30-second warning instead of an exception getting thrown or something like that. But again, that's what happens when you just test stuff like this. So what do we got? I just finished a project of mine which is called Easy Actions. Easy Actions, a Visual Studio extension to make web developers' life easier. MVC JavaScript environments be able to generate a JS file that contains functions and classes to access. Oh, that would actually be really cool, Honeypop. So it's basically generating it's like auto-generating the JavaScript calls to talk to your MVC actions. If that's what you mean, that would be really nice. Okay, a couple of things that I want to jump into here. So Greendolf was looking for a command that was a Twitter command. We don't have one. And that is a very simple command that would respond with a static message. So what I want to create is make an add command, and yes, it is intentionally redundant. Oh, it chooses scissors. Hey, we win. Nice. There we go. Yeah, so you said it auto-generating all the AJAX calls to the MVC actions. Very nice. Thank you, Justin Halsall? I apologize for messing that one up, because I'm sure I did. But welcome, thank you for following. Yeah, Honeypop, you're rich. 210 tokens. Just wait until you find out what you can spend those on. Because right now it's nothing. That's not to say it'll always be nothing, but right now it is nothing. Role required, so clearly I want to lock this one down. So this command is a command to add more commands, and the text is going to be add command. So you're going to call add command, and you're going to say what command you want to add. So we're going to make this do this. Yeah, actually, if you do want to see what commands are available to you, Honeypop, just do an exclamation point commands, and the bot will actually list out all the commands that you have access to run. So it checks your role and sees which ones you have the rights to do. So, kind of nice. You will notice that my list of commands includes more than yours. For obvious reasons, some of them are locked down. Like this one that adds new commands. So here's what we want to do. In this one, since we're adding commands, we need access to the repository. In addition to needing access to the repository, we want to... oh yeah, see? You guys have access to Lurk and a couple of others, so it's pretty nice. Most chatbots just list, like, there's no commands command that I've noticed. Most of them, it's just like whatever the streamer put into that as an auto response. Just add a role. Yeah, I'm going to add a Honeypop role. Sounds good. I'm on it. Just give me a second. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is check to make sure that there's no command in the system already. Oh, someone joined the rock, paper, scissors. Someone started a game. I'm in. Alright, so I want to make sure, so let me just think this out. We're going to say make sure there's no command for that text yet. The next thing we want to do is add the command. So here's the structure I'm thinking. I'm going to write it here. So we're going to say add command. And I'm going to use the Twitter one as the example. And so we're going to say Twitter, and then the response is going to be this. Hang on. What the heck is our Twitter? Right there. And yes, we actually have to have that stupid underscore because someone did actually get dev chatter before we did. Although we own the .com, so that's a plus. Then the next thing we want to have is like mod or something like that. Maybe we say everyone. And then that might be the way that we do it. So here's what we're going to do with this one. Add command. Yeah. It should be going. Hope it ends at some point. Yeah, AD Eastwood. You should just be picking new ones. It should automatically end at some point. Has it been enough time? If it has, oh, there we go. See, it ended. Hey, I won again. That is totally rigged. See, Honey Pop? It's easy to rig a bot. I actually didn't rig the bot, guys. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to make a class here, and we may move it somewhere else, but this is new command model, view model, DOT, or DTO? I don't know, something like this. Here's what I'm thinking. We received command text, response message. It is just a full command, isn't it? Let's do this, actually. To simple command. Can I just do that? I might be able to do this. Hang on, guys. I might be crazy. Here's what I'm going to try. What is arguments? Is that a type? It's a list of string. Okay. Where are we? We're in here. Extensions. We're going to make list of string extensions for now. And yeah, I know. It's not the best name. Whoop! Public static. No, stop it. Stop it, bad code. Did I put that on? Nope. Alright, to simple command. You guys are just going nuts on those points, huh? So we're going to say this list of string, and we're going to call this argument, arguments. Alright, so what's going on? I need to get in a rock, paper, scissors game before it ends? That's what you guys are saying? Yep, there we go. Okay, so... Oh, whoops, this is not... This is returning back a simple command. Okay, so I need to make a list of simple command from an arguments list. So, step one, parse this thing that you sent us. Make sure this is valid. And actually, I am going to wrap all of this in a try-catch block because I don't actually want this command to fail. I don't want it to kill the bot when it inevitably fails because I know this thing's going to fail sometime. Because someone's going to mess up something on this. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to pull this out. And we are going to grab arguments. if arguments count less than 3, turn null. I don't know. We might do something else. Basically, I just want to mandate that we really do have all 3 arguments. So then what I'm going to do is I want to say the command text. What? What? Simple command? What? Doesn't simple command have these? Oh, they're all constructor arguments. Right. I forgot. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Sorry, my bad. This is my code base. You'd think I'd remember this. Arguments. 0 is the command text. 2 is the static response. So there's the static response. And then the third one, whoops, arguments 1, and then the final one is the role, right? Okay, so this one, role, create local variable role, and we're going to assign this equal to user role dot dry parse, and this is argument 2. Which actually we want to use that as an output variable, so we're going to say out user role, get rid of this, and then we're going to wrap this in an if statement, and it tried to help me there. And if we get down here, again, this is a return null. And actually this makes me just want to combine these now. So we're going to say if this is greater than 3 and the try parse works, then we're going to do this. What's I want to do this? Yeah, okay, that's fine. Alright, so what's going on in chat? Winners. Hey, I win again. See? The funny thing, guys, is I actually haven't been rigging my bot. It really does choose randomly. I don't even have to cheat. Somehow my luck with that bot is actually there. Many of you actually watched me program the bot. Runs exactly the way you'd expect. It is just using random. Nothing fancy. There's no weighting to it. LNG Grinds, welcome back. How are you doing today? Okay. I think that extension method is going to work. 3 out of 3, easy. Nicely done, nicely done. Okay, so here's what we're going to do for the initial step of this code. I am just going to print out to the, whoops, we call it triggering client still. We're just going to say chat client dot send message, and you are trying to make. I did a build while the bot was running. That was stupid. Exactly, Kid Fundamentals. It loves me. The bot loves me, and it wants to give me free tokens. Because I totally don't have access to the database and couldn't just set my tokens to whatever I wanted my tokens to be. Yeah, see, there's the bot again with its interval message. Hello and welcome. I hope you're all enjoying the stream. Make sure you click that follow. You are trying to make and let's say command text, command using responding with, and that is command dot static response for let's see, command role required. You are trying to make a blank command for that role responding with that. Okay. I said paper. Oh, are we case sensitive? That's hilarious. That'd be really funny. We might be case sensitive. I don't know. That code's old. We can go fix it if you like. Alright. I do want to run this, though, so I apologize. Honey Pop, that game is not going to finish. Sorry about that. Don't kill me. Please don't kill me, Honey Pop. Please don't kill me. Honey Pop's going to stare daggers into the screen now because I ended the game. Alright. Luckily, I put add command right here. I don't remember what the arguments are. I think it's right, though. Did I just crash the bot? What the? Oh! Duh. Yeah. Sorry. Derp. Alright, guys. Hang on while I spam my derp. Derp. You know what helps? If you actually enable the command to run. So I didn't enable it, so let's go to setup bot, which right here I just have that done. Okay. As I said, helps if you actually run the thing. So I'm going to close that. I'm going to start up the bot again. No, I don't have any automated thing that automatically updates the bot. That would be nice. Okay. I will, Honey Pop, I will. That was an easy one. That was an easy one. Wait, why didn't the bot say hello when it got in here? Is it not in yet? Oh, there it is. Just took a minute to actually connect. That was weird. Alright, so the one we wanted to test was this one. Alright, I will join the game. There you go. Let's take a look at what it responds with. Ah, did it not run again? Let's take a look. What did it do? Null ref. On which thing? Line 28 right here? Oh! Came back with a null. Bummer. Okay. Alright. Okay, well, I'll let your rock, paper, scissors game end before we restart the bot to take a look. But I'm going to drop a breakpoint in there so we can take a look at what it's doing. And I am actually going to add that case sensitivity, case insensitivity, I guess I mean. We're going to make it so you don't have to match casing on that. Let's see. Just tagging claims. Oh, right. That's going to be under the rock, paper, scissors command, not in here. That's under this. Okay, get by name. That choice. Rock, paper, scissors. Is that really how we did that one? Oh, LNG grinds, you are totally right. That is the problem. We'll fix that in a second. AD Eastwood. Alright, there it goes. I am sure AED Eastwood called it. I am willing to bet that you are correct, and that is the problem. So let's jump over to this, and we'll say greater than or equal to 3. That is what you yelled at me about before, I now see. At least someone said that at one point, greater than or equal to, and I did not fix that, so that is my bad. Let's go ahead and get the bot running again. And we will go ahead and give that another test. I'm going to attempt to add that command again. You are trying to add, to make a Twitter command for everyone responding with that. Looks perfect. Yeah, LNG grinds, there you go. Yeah, I was going to say, someone said that, and yeah. Hey man, give me a break. Give me a break. It's tough to notice things in chat. Okay, so that piece works. So we can successfully parse this thing. Make sure there's no command for that text yet. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to check and see if there is a single. And this is... Do we have a command policy? Data item policy, quote entity policy. I guess we'll just use this one for now. We'll do simple command. I don't want to do an all with a thing. I want to do this. New one of these. Can I give it a... Ah, there we go. Okay, so we're going to do it this way. We don't have a shortcut for this yet. Command text equals... And yes, we are going to allow different casing on these for now, I guess. Doesn't like that. Is inaccessible due to its protection level. Alright. Rawr. So let's do a command by name, right? We're going to do a command policy. So I'm going to derive from this, create a derived type called a command policy. This is going to be simple command. Implement the missing members, public, one of these, and then we're going to do a public static command policy, and we're going to say by command text. String command text return new command policy taking in an expression that is this one, command text equals command text. So then we're going to jump back here and we are going to say, whoops. This is a command policy by command text, and we are going to pass in command text. Which actually, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to wrap this in an if statement. So we're going to say if that is not if this equals null, then we are going to insert. So create command. Make sure there's no command for that text yet, which we did, and then add the command. Okay, so we added the command to the database, but that does not complete the work. Yeah, so the reason why is because it won't be available immediately, and I kind of want to make it available immediately. So the way we're going to do this is we need to actually add this to the list of commands that we are using. So there's a couple of ways we can do this. We can either directly access it, or we can make it so that the repository is actually what's getting called by the command handler. So right now I think the command handler is not using it. Let me go ahead and adding intervals. You guys didn't yell at me about this yet. Hang on. Add command, data item policy, command policy, we're getting rid of that. This is string extensions, we're getting rid of that. Rock paper scissors update, yep, that. Okay, so delayed message, currency update. Okay, there we go. You guys let me go without committing this. There we go. And then this one, this is adding add command. Alright, so Janisco is checking what commands are available, and I would go with if command exists, send warning and return. Add command outside of if. Yeah, LNG Grinds, I agree. That sounds much nicer. Whoops. So we're going to do this. And this will have a return at the end of it. So this will have chat client dot send message. We're going to make this string interpolated. There's already a command using, and then command text. And I'm going to leave our little test there for a bit. Because realistically, even the extraction of the data, like if you put in mod, you know, and you typo it or something, even that we might want to adjust. And there is going to need to be an edit command at some point, but for now we're just going to have add. And if I need to fix one, I'm going to have to go to the database to do it for now. At least until we add the edit command, which maybe we'll do that today. Who knows? Okay, so that works nicely. Add that. I want to take a look at how the command handler is working, guys. Command messages. Yep. Okay, so I just load it with a set of commands. And it just runs. So we're going to want to change that at some point to actually be calling the repository. Now the reason I did that is because I don't like the idea of things having too many dependencies, but I think that when accessing the database for its commands is an acceptable way to do it. And if we add a layer of caching in there, it will be actually pretty nice. So let's go ahead and stop the bot. So sorry if anybody wanted to play any more rock, paper, scissors, but I turned it off for now. We're going to put this in. So the bot should be back in here. And I am going to attempt to add our Twitter command. And that'll be a command that everyone's allowed to run. Okay. And now I told you that I didn't actually get everything set up right, so I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to exit, and then I'm going to run it again. So I apologize about spamming the chat with bot messages there, guys. But now, Twitter should work. There we go. Okay. So that's pretty nice. Remove command. I guess you're right, LNG Grinds. I wouldn't need an edit if I put in a remove, because I could just remove and re-add as the way of editing. So that would work out pretty nicely. But the cool part there is that that part does work. So, I'm actually going to put it on this side. I'm going to say adding that command for will respond with that message. Okay. Before we do that, though, yeah, exactly, CRUD commands. That is the idea, is make some CRUD commands here. I didn't mess up my green screen, did I? No, okay, good. Yeah, in case you guys didn't guess, there's green behind me. Alright, So I want to make it so that we can actually adjust that list. So first things first, I'm going to commit this because I don't want to move on. What did I change? I moved that to the bottom. I flipped that around. Okay. Confirm command creation. I'm just committing. That's all I'm doing here, guys. It's just that change. I'm gonna push it out. Okay, so first things first, I want to change the command handler. So let's jump over the command handler. We, instead of having it take in the list of commands, oh, but I like it having the list of commands now that I think about it. Alright, what do we do about that then? Because I almost wonder if we need an eventing system or something like that, so we can say, hey, there's a new command, get your new set of commands. Because we do put in some commands that aren't out of the database, that aren't from the database. Alright, we'll have to figure that one out in a minute. So that is a to-do for next time, that we're not going to do today, because I like the idea of making the add and remove ones. So let's go ahead and do that. And actually, crap, before we get to that, I need to change that policy. Ugh. Can't believe you guys let me forget that one. There we go. Extract the policy into its own file. There we go. And that's going to fail because I left this running. And we're going to build that. Okay. Extract policy own file. Oh. Sorry, Honey Pop. Yeah, I just saw that. That was good. Yes. Alright, bot's back in for a minute. There you go. You get the chance to try stuff again. I am going to make the remove command. That's going to be similar to the add command. So similar, in fact, it's almost like I'm copy-pasting the thing, and then I'm going to look to see if there's enough similarity to extract a basic class or pull the logic into something that they can both leverage. Alright, come on, Greendorf, Honey Pop, let's go. Let's play some rock, paper, scissors. Alright, so this is going to be the remove command, which we're going to move to the remove command file. Remove command, again, mod only. Ooh. Yeah, we'll trust the mods to remove commands. Remove command, and you just have to specify the command name. So we don't need anything as complex as that. So for this one, we just need arguments. Grab the first argument, and oh yeah, that's all we need. Command text. Let's see. Janisku joined the game. Honey Pop, you can change your choice at any time. Let's see. Greendorf chose paper. Was the RPS game time-based? Janisku, no, that is actually now a change. So the rock, paper, scissors game, you now have 2 minutes to join before it triggers. So we added that today. So if you're used to it getting triggered, that's why. So you'll notice after 2 minutes now, the bot makes its choice, And hey, there you go, Honey Pop. You won more coins. So, there you go. You do know I can change it so it's not case sensitive, but I thought you said not to. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is attempt to grab this out of the database. So we're going to grab a single one that is like that, and we're going to pass in command text. And that is our command. Simple command equals null, and we're gonna say chat client dot send message, and we're gonna tell the user I didn't find a that command. Okay. Otherwise, what we are going to do is say removing it. Do I even have that yet? I don't even have a remove yet. There you go. That's funny. We haven't even added that to the repository. This is the first actual delete we're going to put in here. Twitch have now the developer rig. I saw something about that. I don't know what that is, Janiscu. So removing the command text command, and then we're going to say remove simple command. Okay. So that means that we now need to get rid of that on there. You're a normal SQL. So we're using a normal SQL database, Kid Fundamentals, and actually until this weekend, we were using an in-memory EF Core database that we could sort of get away with using, which actually caused us a couple of problems because there were some things that it didn't do, but it also gave us some freedom to do some things that you can't actually do with real SQL Server databases that the in-memory database let us get away with. So we were in kind of a weird world for a little while. The in-memory database is really designed for, like, you want to do some integration testing, and so you want to be able to actually talk to a database. But I tend to find that it's a good way of when you're just scaffolding your project to just immediately have a database and not have to worry about things like migrations or anything like that, because you're expecting that your schema is going to change so frequently that you don't even want to deal with that. So that's actually why we were using an in-memory database at first. Because now we actually have a database, so anytime we change something, we actually have to worry about migrations. Now, my plan is to actually just make a new migration each time and throw out our old database, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah, Honeypop, we're going to use, we're probably going to connect to a SQL Azure database when we do that, and we are using EF. We've been using that the whole time. But the I should say EF Core. But the EF Core in-memory database was quite nice for us for a little bit. Okay, so this is going to be a void method. It's going to take in T, and we're going to call that our data item. And we need to restrict what T can be, so T is going to be a data entity. I called it a data entity. Good job, me. I think that was a rename I did. T is a data entity. Oh, duh. Like, why is that yelling at me? I are developer. I understand C#. Dev to derp. So I do hope at some point, everyone who's in here, that we do get a Twitch partner status at some point, which requires that we get our average viewership up a good chunk. We're probably about a third of the way there. But if we get to partner status, then we'll be able to get a lot more emotes, which I'm hoping you guys enjoy. I notice we have a bunch of people in here that do use the Twitch emotes, which is nice. So glad of that. I also am a Twitch person. I do a lot of I watch a lot of Twitch streams for gaming as well as software development. So set t, and then we're going to say .remove, and we are going to remove the data item that we passed in. And yes, I know this is stupid, simple, and not all that great, but don't complain too much. Yeah, so the emotes that we have for our different tiers right now, going in order, are these three. We have a hype, a derp, and a fail emote, which I want to make all those part of a tier 1 sub to the channel, so that everybody can use them. So right now, the only one that subs can use is Devcha hype. And yeah, the other problem is, as I don't mind Devcha, it's not bad. That's actually what our prefix is on our emotes. But they don't give affiliates control over that, so you just had to have the right name to, you know, get a reasonable one. And as I said, Devcha's not bad. I probably would just like a nicer one at some point, assuming we can get it. Remove command, we call remove at the end of that, so removing that, we remove it, it's going to save it, and then that should work. Alright, let's go ahead and stop the bot. And I just realized it wasn't on screen, but hey, it said bye, so you knew what I was doing. You guys have seen me type that enough times by now. But I hope all of you guys are having fun. Let's go ahead and give this a shot. So our Twitter command should work right now. So we've got Twitter. And then I'm going to try the remove command, which, oh, it's not going to work. Ah, I forgot to do the thing. Sorry, guys. I derped again. See, this is why I need someone that's not me to have the derp command. So you guys can spam the derp command when I do stuff like this. Because I didn't do this. I didn't. So that's right now how I added to the list of commands. Because eventually we want to have, like, turning them on and off, and so we're going to need to, like, save something about them, and I'm not sure what we want to do in terms of the data in the database for that yet. I'm leaning towards making it so that there's settings for any given command, so, like, the add command, I expect we'll have that in the database, but have you be able to configure, you know, what the command text is. So maybe you don't want it to be add command, maybe you want it to just be add. I want that to be database configurable and things like that, which also means then there should be a bit to say whether or not it's enabled or not. So you could turn off that feature. Yeah, it's off right now. Give me 1 second. And yes, Janisku, you're correct. You can't remove the add command. We don't actually have to worry about that, Honey Pop, because that one's not stored in the database. So the only ones you could remove are things like the lurk command and the Twitter command, the GitHub command, and things like that. And you do have to be a mod to do it. So it's mildly secure. It's only the ones that are database only, which are the simple response ones. So none of the games and things like that would get removed, because they're not actually even stored in the database that way. Okay, so this one should be wired up, and let's go ahead and run the bot again. Let's see. Yep, Janisku bot wasn't there, but you can try calling it now. I called myself putting together an authorization code flow to allow a user to access their Twitch account from my site, and I rage. Yes, exactly. Yeah, the Twitch docs, especially the current ones, are really painful because the Helix docs, in a lot of cases, they're just not there yet. So that makes it really difficult. So I think what Janiska was trying to say by pointing out the GitHub link there is that we do take in pull requests. We have had some people send us pull requests for some pretty good code. So if you are interested, you can take a look at github.com/devchatter, and the devchatter bot is what we're currently working on. So you'll find that repository in there. So first things first, I want to run the Twitter command, and it works. Now, when I run... So I apologize, I'm going to restart the bot so I don't like start a game of rock, paper, scissors. So it says it's removed, but now in order to actually see if it's removed, I need to stop and exit. Because we're not accessing the database, you'll remember, so right now I do have to restart the bot in order to get that new set of data. So now when I try to run the Twitter command, it should not work. It doesn't work. So there we go. So it requires a restart before it happens right now, but looks like these actually got in there. So let's make this we'll say follow at devchatter on Twitter here. Okay, so now when I run that, that should have added it, and we're going to restart the bot again. Yes, I know, that's why we need to fix that. Just quite silly. We'll get to it, we'll get to it. One feature at a time, everybody, one feature at a time. Alright, so there we go. Follow at devchatter on Twitter here. Okay, cool. So that's actually pretty nice. Let's go ahead and get that committed, because that is adding in the remove command. So we're going to commit that change, and I'm going to push those out. Let's see. I'm hoping that Helix is their last API change for the next 100 years. To be honest, I hope not, because they've definitely got some issues in their API. If only from the fact that they've got undocumented features. Okay. Things that we wanted to take a look at. So I want to make it so that these changes happen automatically, but I don't want to do that right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new issue on GitHub, and you guys all have the ability to add these on GitHub. Add and remove commands should happen without restart. We're going to call that a bug. That's a bug. And right now the add command changes the data, but the command handler is using a static collection. Let's say the database. Right now the add command and remove command change the database, but the command handler is using a static collection, so it's not so these don't affect the bot at runtime. Alright, there's our new issue. And I think that's pretty clear. Someone should build an API on top of Twitch's API to make it better. Interestingly, Honeypop, that's sort of what TwitchLib does, kinda. Because our library does wrap the Twitch API to make it a little easier to use. In some ways that's good, in some ways that's bad. Because we do use the same library, whether we're accessing the v3, v5, or the Helix API. So part of the problem right now is there are actually 3 APIs for accessing Twitch. v3 and v5 are going to... So they're currently deprecated, despite the fact that Helix does not technically... it's not a superset yet, so Helix does not have all the features of the previous APIs. And they're deprecated, but they're not actually getting turned off until the end of this calendar year. So we actually have quite a long time to continue using them. So most of what our bot's connecting to right now is the v5 API through our TwitchLib library. We will be connecting to Helix. The only reason we connected to v5 is because it's quick and easy to connect to, and it has basically all the features that we need. But over time we will be switching to the Helix API. The other nice thing that gives us is we can start to see how some of the separation that we did in our code helps us when we switch to Helix. Because it is going to happen. Okay. Yeah, I know, there are a lot of APIs. They have way too many for Twitch. And the thing that's also going to kill is when we connect to anything else, because we're going to want to wire it to, even though we don't use Mixer here, we're probably going to wire to Mixer. Yeah, exactly, Kid Fundamentals. It's deprecated, which... Yeah, so they called it deprecated. Realistically, they should have deprecated v3 and left at v5 not deprecated, but I think they did like a 3-month window where like v3 was deprecated and v5 wasn't yet. It was ridiculous. v5 shouldn't be deprecated yet, because until Helix is actually a superset, you shouldn't turn the previous one off. Okay, so the thing I wanted to bring up is the currency generator. There we go. So the bot is running. So we're all earning coins in here, and there's something going on that we haven't really messed with yet that I want to bring to your guys' attention. Currency generator, is this the one? This the one that's tracking users, add chat user collection, is this the one? Chat user collection. I thought I made this change. Hang on a second, guys. Everyone just give me a moment. Give me a moment. Twitch chat client. There it is. Okay, right. Yes, I put it on here. Okay, so here's what I wanted to show you guys. So when we're talking about the Twitch API, there's an interesting little thing. Notice this word, undocumented. There are undocumented features of the Twitch API, including a method that is supposed to get all of the people that are currently in chat. So thanks, Twitch, for having undocumented features. I had a lot of trouble looking for that at first, until I figured out that they weren't viewers. I can't actually get all the viewers. I can get all the chatters. So that's, if Twitch says that you're connected to chat, whether you're actually typing or not, you should show up in this list. And so that is what we're doing here. So where's this getting referenced? That gets referenced in iChat client, but it's not actually called anywhere yet, I don't think. No, it's not. Okay, so what that means is inside of our currency generator, when we first wire it up, what we want to do is we want to grab all of the... so if I hide chat, I'm not a chatter, but if I have chat open a new... Greendolf, I believe that is correct. I think if you hide chat, you're not considered a chatter, but you're still a viewer. Which means I wouldn't find you. So we're only going to give currency to chatters. Yeah. Alright, so... on client notice, so chat client. So before we... so get or create... there's get or create chat user... Okay, so here's what we're going to do. For each one of these chat clients, on user noticed, oh, we call watch user on them. add. We're gonna say add current chatters is step 1. And we're gonna pass in the chat client. So that's a void chat client. We're gonna say chat client dot get all chatters. So now that we have all of these. Yes, I'm sorry, Nifix, please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. I just hacked it in there. I was just hacking some things in. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. I know, it's awful. I felt bad. I felt bad. I will probably fix it sometime soon. Yes, that we can do a lot more stuff async here, Nifix. Feel free to come in and fix. I just haven't put it in yet. Don't kill me. Please don't kill me. I promise. I won't do it again. I'm gonna do it again. Alright, so we're gonna watch user. Oh, we have need to watch user? And watch user? What are these? Oh! This one's safe though, right? Yes, it is. Extract method, and I'm gonna make a do thing method. Sorry guys, you know me and my do thing methods. I love do thing methods. Any regulars of this channel know that I love writing do thing. Alright, what is this? Think about how fun error correcting all of this while having to move to Helix will be. I can imagine the errors now. Oh yeah, it's gonna get ugly. Yeah. See, Nifix, that's exactly it. I just gotta feel bad about it, which, trust me, I actually do feel pretty bad about it. But, I'm trying... a lot of these things I just do on stream, or I'm just trying to hack it in really fast. And then what I do every once in a while is I come back in and clean up. So you guys will probably notice that some of the time when I'm reviewing a pull request at the beginning of a stream, it is I went and fixed something I felt bad about doing while I was on stream. So that's how we end up getting those. So I want to call do thing, but I don't want it actually to pass in this stuff. Alright, so we need do thing there. What did... Okay, so... This, what does get or create chat user do? Does this really need all that? Oh, because it makes a new one and shoves it in the database. Okay. Yeah, that's funny. You guys got to hear a sound because I didn't have that turned off. There you go. Oh, so I wanted to make this nice, but I don't like this piece. So I want to do a thing to do that. So I don't have a user status event args. I have a chat user that I've got, and I want to use that instead. Okay, what does this return? This returns a chat user, right? Okay, alright. Someone's gonna shoot me now. Alright, guys, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. You're not gonna love this. You might love this. I don't want a funk. I don't want an action. I want a funk of something or other. So the in value is going to be take in something. No, it's not a... We're not going to actually have an inval. We're just going to have a chat user. This is a function that gets you a chat user. DevChang. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Welcome, thank you for following. And the bot said so as well. And yes, that is a response from the bot that we are using on here. And yes, I'm just calling that func for now. Give me a second. Why am I putting it on here? Brendan, what are you doing? That's terrible. Okay, so we don't need an event args there, because we're going to take in a... Wait, where's do thing? Where's do thing? There's do thing. Okay. So we don't need event args, because we're going to put that elsewhere. Get or create chat user. Do thing, get or create chat user. Get or create chat user. Okay, hang on. Maybe we do need it on there. We might need it in both places. Hang on. Need to think about this. Get or create chat user. So instead of taking an event args, I wanted to take in this. It's going to take in a display name and a func. Do you guys see why I'm insane yet? And what crazy thing I'm doing? Yes, exactly, Janiscu. The bot greets new followers. It's quite nice, actually. I like that it does that. Okay. So this... There we go. Okay. Alright, so now what we need to do is this. This is why someone's going to kill me. Because I am literally going to do that. Oh my god, no, I can't go that evil. That's insane. Okay. But that's not totally crazy. Okay. Yeah, that's right. You see what it does there? Is that not nuts? Okay, so now when we call do a thing, we want to do this. So it now needs to pass in display name and the function when we call do a thing. And so we're going to pass in the same trick here that we did up there. And then up here when we call it, chatter.displayname, and here we just need to say chatter. Okay. Does that make sense, guys? Like, is that totally crazy? Is anyone lost on that? I mean, aside from my do a thing method, which I now need to name. Which really feels like the watch user if needed. So that's what our thing is that we're doing. So we're going to say watch user if needed, and we're going to pass in their name and who they are, which actually, now that I think about it, did we need to pass in display name? It's nice that we did, because then we don't have to use the function to grab it to get the display name. That's about it. Is it an extra one of those? Yeah. Okay. I think that works. We're about to find out. Not when we get a compiler error, because we're not actually going to get that code to run. But what I want to do is put a breakpoint here. Okay. Thank you for admitting it, Kid Fundamentals. That means my code's too complicated and I need to simplify it. But first, let me see if it works. LNG Grinds, have a great rest of your day. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. was nice having you in here, and also you told me about an error in my code that I didn't notice that you'd told me about, and continued on like an idiot. So that was great. Understand the case, but is the creation of the user so heavy that you must delay? So it's not actually the delay, Nifix. It's that I have different objects at different points. So I guess you're right. I guess I could convert to that object as soon as I get it from the event args, just be done with it, and then only be passing around the chat user. So, oh yeah, rest of the night. Your Central European time. Is it actually still called CET? What's it called in the summer? Is it is it like CEDT or something for Central European Daylight Time? So CET would be like, that's like 6 hours ahead of me or something like that, so it'd be about 10 p.m. your time. But either way, thank you for stopping by. So, hey, we have a set of 16 chatters, so I'm going to call that a win for now, because it looks like it got our set of people, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so we grab our set of chatters, and then we add them to the collection. And you are right, we could just do that immediately and then not have to worry about it. But, for now, let me go ahead and do this. Pull the bot out, because I don't want that continuing to run that way. I'm going to commit first, and then we'll go back and fix that, because you guys commented about it, which means it's too complex. I did the best name for a best commit message right there. I said that I added all the chatters to the watch list, which sounds hilarious. Because a watch list doesn't sound all that positive. Does bot send tokens to... Janisku, yes, that is correct. If you win a game of rock, paper, scissors, you do get additional tokens. So there is value in starting up new games of rock, paper, scissors. Okay, so we do that, and that gets us that. So now the calls to this, down here, we should just say this. So event args to chat user, so then that one's fixed. This one we're saying should also just be a chat user to match with that suggestion. So we're going to change that to a chat user as well. Which means here, we're also just going to say event args.to chat user, and then this one, we're going to do that as well. So there we go. So yanked out, and that should work nicely. Woohoo! Simpler, easier to read code. I like it. I always like simpler code. Whenever I can make it simpler, I make it simpler. Gonna reset that bot. If you join the game, what if it... yeah, so Janisku, the plan is that I do want to have it do exactly that, where it takes tokens from from people as they join, and then apply that to the total. So there essentially is a pot of coins waiting to be won, and it probably should report that when new people join, what the current, pot is at. So, we can add that in. Let's commit this change first, though, because we are simplifying the chatter watching. Okay. All right. Let's go take a look at that. So for this one, we want to jump over to the rock, paper, scissors game. So that's start new game. Let's attempt to start a new game. This is ready for new match. Get winners list, announce winners, adjust tokens, play match, join a match. Here we go. So when you join a match, we want to keep track of how many coins are in it. So change from that to that. Okay, so when they actually join, that's this one. We want to remove their coins. Maybe we don't want to remove their coins. We'll remove them at the end. That way, if we end the game prematurely because I stopped the bot, you don't lose any coins. Although, no. Oh, what do we do with that? Here's the problem, guys. I was just thinking about this. If I remove the coins, if I don't remove the coins, people could spend their coins on other things. So I need to remove the coins at first. Alright, guys. We're going to make the bot not very nice about this, then. I think we might have it remove coins first. Yeah. I think it'll remove coins first. So what we're going to do... So we are going to remove currency from, and this is going to be username. Whoops, username, right? Oh, user, yeah, right. Guys, I can't type today, I'm sorry. How many coins do you spend to get into a game? We're gonna make it a big money game, guys. Rock, paper, scissors cost 25 coins to get in. Make the bot a troll and have it time someone out for going into... Alright, Kid Fundamentals, that is a hilarious suggestion. I know a guy that added a command to his bot. He called it seppuku, and if you ran it, it would just set out a message that said something like, you stabbed yourself, and then it would just time you out for like 5 minutes. So there was a command that would actually have the bot time you out. Yeah. Okay, so this is username. Tokens to remove. Update specific chatters. X.tokens minus equal tokens to remove. I need to make this a boolean. Who am I kidding? We need to know whether it was possible. And yes, there are bugs and things we need to fix here, guys. Don't worry. Let's see. Well, bot could be could not allow you to play if you don't have enough coins to play. Yeah, that's the idea. That's why I just made this a boolean here, Janiscu. If you don't have enough coins, we're gonna tell you that you don't have enough coins to play. So chat user collection dot. So we did update specific chatter. Update for each chatter. Update specific chatter. Add currency to. Gonna create chat user procedure if needed. Anyway, yeah, it's not perfect. Not perfect, far from. Although it really is funny to have there be a penalty for going into debt. Chat user collection. What did I do for the coins command? I grabbed the chat user, get their coins. Don't I? Do I have the repository here? I do. Alright, we're gonna do it that way then. Okay, so... Well, no, because we need to remove it from them on here. Alright, we're going to have to add a method. We're going to have to add a method. Okay, so if chat user collection dot user has enough coins, user has coin at least tokens to remove. Okay, so if they have that, then we're going to do it. If not, then afterwards, actually I'm going to flip that logic, invert. Okay, so if they don't have enough, then we are going to return false, which means I no longer need this else block, and down here I can return true. Alright. Display name equals that, update specific, so we're going to remove those tokens where the display name is that, and then we're going to check this. So that method needs to exist, and we called this, I believe. Yes, we did. So what we need to do is put this in an if. So we're going to say if that, then do this. And I'm not a huge fan of that. Send a message. You need more coins to play rock, paper, scissors. And then I'm going to put your name in there. So you know that it was responding to you. Okay. And then, so we don't run into any problems, I'm going to return. So you didn't actually get into the list of competitors, which happens down there. Yeah, tokens are coins. I don't know why I called them tokens. Well, actually, have you ever gone to like an arcade where they use tokens instead of quarters? We'll call them those. Alright, let's see. So we got that. We got that. We're going to respond back. We're going to return if you did that. We're going to try to take out 25 coins from you. When we go to play the game, you have a 1/3 chance? Okay, so hang on. You have a 1 in 3 chance, so if you win 1 out of every 3 times, how many... I'm trying to think, if we want to make this casino style, where you can always win more, but we need you to lose, see, you lose 2/3 of the time, so you need to pay out 3 times the amount, so you already put them in. So we want you to gain 50 when you risk 20, and that's how the casino would do it. So maybe it's... Or do we want to be generous? Maybe we want to be generous and encourage people to play games on here. Because number of players doesn't decrease your odds of winning. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to risk 30 and it's going to pay out 100. We're going to be generous. I think that's nice. I'm going to pull those out as fields in a second, so don't worry. You need more coins to play rock, paper, scissors. Turn, join the game. That choice. Okay. Yeah, let's pull these out. They're going to be constants up at the top. They're going to need to be configurable at some point, but this is tokens for winning. We'll make other games that do that concept, Janisku, where it'll take some tokens to create a pot that is then applied to everybody else. We'll make like a free-for-all like fight, and we'll choose a winner based on that. Because we can do one of those pretty easily. And then this is also going to be just this occurrence. And this is going to be a constant that is tokens to play. Tokens required to play. There you go. Tokens for playing, tokens for winning, tokens required to play. Okay. So you lose those tokens immediately upon attempting to play. Remove currency from. User has at least that number. If the user doesn't have at least that number of tokens, then we're going to do that. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna run into some concurrency issues. I'm not gonna worry about it for now. We're gonna say repository. Yeah, we're gonna grab this chatter like this. Singular default. Oh, I didn't pass in the username? Derp. See, guys? Now you see why you need the derp emote. Nifix. In my opinion, would it not be better if the choice would be whispered to the bot? So, Nivix, that's because you're not playing against the other players, you're playing against the bot. So it doesn't matter if everybody else sees yours, you're not playing against them, you're just playing against the bot. So it's like, it'd be like a casino game, it's, can I beat the bot? You and I could, like, I could pick paper and you could pick scissors, but I could win if the bot chose rock, for example. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's why we don't have to do that one. Is, so that is that. Singular default. What? Yes, I know. This is called users to update, but I want to make it user to update. Actually, this is just chat user. Okay. Chat user tokens greater than tokens to remove. Or equal to. Okay. That is very testable, so we're going to have a test for that. However, let's go ahead and give this a try. I will probably add that off stream. So this is username, and then that's tokens to remove, return false. Let's go ahead and stop the bot. We're going to give this a try. Stop, exit. What is this? Seems like a lot of requests against the database. Can you load the user from the database? Actually, Nifix, that wasn't a database pull there. That was actually grabbing it from an in-memory collection. But yeah, even when we do, we're going to have the repository be cached the whole time anyway. And we're going to use either a cache invalidation or something else. So there we go. So go ahead and hop in the rock, paper, scissors game. Assuming this works, we'll see how it goes. So go ahead and do an exclamation point RPS there, Nifix. And you can pick rock, paper, scissors if you want. We'll see what we end up with. Yeah, so Nifix, the goal is to... So it is actually using EF Core when we make updates, but all those checks for the values and things like that is using an in-memory collection. Oh, boom. All right. Yep. Alright, so we got some kind of bug. What's it related to? Is it because user has at least... alright, so you weren't in the collection. So, alright. Yeah, because we didn't actually hit the database, so... Alright, well... Sorry guys, it crashed, yeah. None for you guys. Well, I do know what the problem is, and I will fix that one up next time. I'm not going to fix it right now. I am going to push out what we had working previously, and I'm going to make that, I'm going to make a pull request and send that in. Sadly, I do need to wrap up here, so this is going to be my outro. I wanted to thank all you guys for showing up and chatting today. Hopefully it was fun. We are going to continue working on this code tomorrow. Starting at the same time, so in a little under 22 hours, we will be writing code on here live again on DevChatter. And I want to thank C# Fritz for the host today. We had a few new follows, so thank you if you followed today. Igloo Coder, thank you for the Prime sub. Hopefully you enjoy your emotes. And other than that, we are going to take off, and actually I'm going to get the bot running so I can send a couple of things into chat for you guys. So I'm going to spin it up. It's going to say hello world. The things I wanted to mention, we have our code out on GitHub for anybody that doesn't know. So if you do want to do that, go ahead and check out our GitHub. And if you do want to continue talking to us after the stream, check out our Discord, which is a gaming chat application. It's a chat application that's usually used by gamers because they've got pretty good voice chat for being able to talk while you're in a game. But then there's also text chat, and so we use Discord to communicate after the stream. So if you have questions, want to talk to the other people that are in the chat while we're not live streaming, our Discord is a great way to do that, and you can use that link to find it. And if you want to make sure that you're getting other notifications, whoa, that is case sensitive, Brendan. Check out our Twitter, and I need to make that not case sensitive, which is a feature we should add. But you can take a look at our Twitter and follow DevChatter. You could also follow me on Twitter. I am Brendonius on there. If you don't know who I am, you can check the list of people that this channel follows, and I am one of them. Other than that, oh, and for those of you that didn't know, that little Twitter command was added using our add command, so I typed into chat to add that one. So that was kind of fun. And we will catch you all tomorrow, Tuesday, at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, which is about, that's Eastern Daylight Time, so that is like 6 p.m. UTC if you can convert to your own time through UTC, or you can check down below, and there is our normal stream schedule. I am going to try to stream this Thursday this week, but I'm going to be at a conference, so I'm going to have to check the internet connection. If we can stream, we will. If I can't get that working, then Thursday's stream will get canceled, and I will let you all know. And if you want to make sure you don't miss Dev Chatter the next time, there's follow icons you can click that will make sure to let you know when we're going to be live, and you'll get a notification when the stream starts. And if you're available, awesome, show up. If you're not, then you can ignore it. And we do hope to see you next time. We stream 4 times a week, so having fun writing code, and have a good one. Bye, everybody.